So it feels pretty good.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know you don't like them, but I think it's kind of cool to see what they do.
I love nature, and yes, if this was someone else's property, it'd be pretty neat. Alright, what are we about to do?
We're driving out back to see what our daughter's done with the brush hog. She's been out there mowing a lot, helping to clear fields, but she also went out there with the tree puller attachment on the skid steer and said she pulled a bunch of trees, but we have not been back to see the progress she's made, so I'm excited to see what she's been doing.
Yeah, so she's been working out there on and off for a couple months, and we haven't been out there at all, so see what's going on out there.
And we're also going to check out the red buds.
Oh yeah, that's to come. Red buds. I think there's some all the way in the back of the field, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yep.
In the meantime, this is what it looks like on our way out to the back pasture. All right, we're gonna get out here and we'll give you a bit of a tour. We had to put it in four-wheel drive to get up that hill. That's that true red dirt clay that we got here in North Carolina, and that stuff, it's been raining a lot. It rained literally all night, super hard last night.
Yeah.
And that's like axle grease when it's wet. How was it going up that hill?
Very slippery.
Yeah. Very slippery.
You can see it all over the tires.
Yep. So.
Okay.
Very greasy. So this field is 70 acres and goes all the way pretty much to the back property line. The edge of the field isn't the property line. There's a creek, and we own just a little bit on the other side of the creek, but for all intents and purposes, the back of the property line is the back of the field. And what I had done previously is this field over here. There really weren't that many trees. There were some of these small pines, but it wasn't a lot of pines, but it was all briars. So 10-foot tall briar trees, or briar trees, briar patches everywhere. And did that with the skid steer, the brush hog, that 6-foot brush hog. It's about 6 acres. Took a long time.
Yeah, you were out here a lot.
I was out here a lot. Takes a long time to clear 6 acres, 6 feet at a time.
Yeah.
Definitely. But then what I did is I asked her to come back here with that same brush hog on that same skid steer, and instead of cutting down the trees, because that was where we were breaking a lot of equipment, was to brush hog in between all the trees, which is a chore. And you can see on this side here, she's brush hogged in between most of the trees. We haven't gone down, so I'm not even sure how far she's gone, but quite a bit. And then she's gonna come through and pull out all these trees. And you can see on this side of the field, that's exactly what she's done. You see that big old pile of trees right there. There's another pile of trees there, another pile of trees down there. So she's cleared out all this.
That's great.
And plucked out a lot of the trees as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we were very skeptical of the tree puller attachment, but it looks like it's working out really well.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was going to work at all.
But it clearly is.
Yep. So we'll be a little less lazy. We'll walk a little bit now, and we'll show you one of the other, I guess, landmarks of the pasture. Yeah. Is that what we call it? A landmark?
The
Serengeti tree?
Serengeti
tree. Okay. And so you can probably already see it, but we'll get closer. But we refer to that tree as a Serengeti tree, and especially once this is all cleared out, it'll definitely look like that. But the very first time we saw it, when we came and looked at the farm, and that's what we called it, the Serengeti tree. It looks like a tree you'd see on the Serengeti.
Yeah, very
it's kind of
stands out from the rest of the trees.
Yeah, and it's kind of old and gnarly.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a landmark.
Yep.
Be like, oh, out past the Serengeti tree.
Everyone knows the Serengeti tree. We just tell them, no, go to the Serengeti tree and take a right.
Right.
Yep. So let's do a little bit of a quick walk around the field.
Yeah.
So this is a good example of a lot of what's out here. These are like scrub cedar trees or juniper trees, some form of cedarish tree. And there's a lot of these things, 6 foot tall. It's either out here on the front half of this field, it's either these or those 10 foot tall longleaf pines, which are, you know, about that big around. And then the back half of the field, you'll see when we get there, it's all these terrible gum trees. And there it is behind us. You can see it, the Serengeti tree. And I don't know about you, but it looks like it's just what comes to my mind every time I see it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like out of The Lion King or something.
Yeah, seriously. Like there should be elephants and giraffes underneath of it.
Yeah.
But just Serengeti tree every time. And I was clearing under that back in the fall before hunting season. That's where I broke the other bush hog, was cutting down trees. So hey, still not fixed. Not the best way to do it. So let's see if we can go find some red buds. You wanna go find some red buds? All right, let's do it. Okay, we're at the back and you can see behind us here how much the flora, not fauna. The flora has changed. But speaking of fauna, we jumped a bunch of deer on the way back here. So that was pretty cool. But the flora changed. It's mostly all this mangle of gum trees. And then if you can see here through the woods, that is Little Grassy Creek. Our property line is actually up the hill on the other side. And if we were able to follow it down here, you can't see through the woods. We might go to that corner. There's a big old swamp right there. It's usually full of ducks and geese. And that's also on the property. But this is what we were looking for. These purple flowers right here. This is the eastern redbud. Drive through any suburban neighborhood and you will see a ton of these. It's planted as an ornamental. It's actually, it's called the eastern redbud because it's native to the east coast of the US. And those flowers are edible. Not only are they edible, they taste really good, and they are really good for you. So I get excited every year to have red buds, redbud salad, redbud. I just eat them out of my hand. I call it a hand salad. I just come out here, fill up my hand, and eat them. And it's a nice little snack when you're out in the woods. But if you see these things, seriously, give them a try. They're really tasty. So we're gonna pull some down and we'll give you a close-up and we'll taste them and try to describe what they taste like.
Sounds good.
All right, here you go. This is what I would call a hand salad. And they just pull right off. You don't have to worry about pulling them off because, there's so many of them on the tree that, I don't know, you're not going to take them all. But you want to give them a try?
Yeah.
Try to describe what they taste like?
Yes. It's definitely a floral kind of taste, but not, I've had edible flowers before, it's not like that. It's really hard to describe.
Yeah. Here, hold the camera, maybe I'll try.
Okay. They're not sweet necessarily.
It's almost like, this might not sound appealing, but it does taste good. But an unripe apple.
I could see that.
And these ones aren't open yet. They're just buds. They're not popped out as flowers. They actually get a little bit sweeter when they're full flower. But I would describe them almost as an unripe apple. So they're a little bit sweet. Almost have like a green beanie flavor to them. like a fresh green bean.
Yeah, very fresh.
Yeah, ever pulled a green bean right out of the garden and just crunched on it? Kind of a green bean flavor and almost like a unripe apple flavor. So I don't know, they're good. I like them. They're really tasty.
You can add them to, you've added it to pasta before.
Put them on top of pasta. You can put them in your salad. Those are probably the two biggest things, or just eat them out of your hand. Right. Really tasty. These were like a big part of the spring diet for Native Americans because they used to be everywhere. And if you, again, just drive through any suburban neighborhood and you're going to see a ton of them. Along the highway, I wouldn't recommend eating those ones because they're probably covered with exhaust.
Right.
But they're really easy to spot. Pink and purple flowers, first thing in the spring. Today is March 23rd, so I don't really know when you'll see this video, probably not for a few weeks, but depending on where you are along the East Coast, you know, further north you are, the later they come out. I really like them. I think they're tasty. I look forward to this every year. The other thing, which maybe we'll be able to pop in the woods tomorrow, I don't know exactly when they start to come up, fiddleheads.
Oh, right. You have been talking about that.
Yeah, so maybe in this video we'll also transition to fiddleheads and you'll be able to see those. I think we might be a little early for fiddleheads, but if not, we'll try to show you those as well. One of my favorites as well.
I would definitely recommend these. I was skeptical when he first recommended them to me, but they're very tasty.
Yep. So we're gonna walk along this hedgerow because this is where they are on our property. We're gonna get a couple of handfuls and then we're gonna head back.
Yep.
This is a much bigger redbud tree, has a lot more buds on it. I forgot to tell you two other facts about the redbud. In the fall, when they grow their seeds, so maybe late spring, I don't know exactly when it is, early summer, something like that. Anyway, the seeds are also edible, and they call it spicewood because they used to use the bark to spice their food. So it's got a lot of uses. All right, so I think I was probably rambling on about redbuds, but again, they're really great. We're back up here this morning. Just thought we'd give you an update on how things are going in the attic. We've filled another 7 bags very quickly, and we're working on the middle section.
Which is nice. The middle section, you haven't come across any of the roof corners yet, which is nice. That takes a while to rake out.
Yeah, and a lot less of the paper-backed insulation. So this is more like blown-in insulation that's all matted down, so it scoops up really easy.
This is what I expected the whole thing to be like.
Same. Same. Yep. But we're just gonna do a couple hours today. You know, our videos probably seem all over the place, but we do bounce around between projects based on the weather and priority. So sometimes when the weather's nice, we need to go do something else, and when the weather's not as nice, we come up here and do this. Although it's actually really nice today. It's kind of cold, but it's sunny.
Yeah.
But it's been raining a lot, so we can't get out in the fields because it's just mush.
Right.
Yeah. So when we're done here, we'll show you how far we've made it.
Okay, we've gone through our remaining 5 bags. So we're out of bags, so we're gonna call it quits for today. But I feel like this was much better.
Way easier.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to bend over the whole time.
No.
That was nice.
Yeah, so let me pan around and show you what we did. We got the entryway to the attic cleared out, which will feel nice. We got over here, which we called the poop zone, because this is where a lot of raccoon or whatever other animal poop was up here. So got, I think, most of the poop out at this point, at least from what we can tell. And then backing up a little bit, you can see got a good chunk of the main area. Like you said, we didn't have to bend down very much because, we will when we get back to the attic corner there, but otherwise this went pretty quickly. We filled 12 bags. Yeah, so it feels pretty good.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and we do it when we can fit it in.
Yep. So we'll stop here for now with the attic. Move on to something else.
Yep. See you on the next thing.
See ya.
Well, if you watch the video where we were trying to find the tree stand that tipped over, we actually stopped at this point and we walked all the way across that beaver dam that's over there, and this was all dry back then, all through here. And now the creek that's supposed to run way over there, probably 50 feet that way, is now running over here, and this whole area is flooded. These beavers are not my friend.
It looks so different over here now.
Like, they're not my friend.
Yeah.
Anyway, hadn't been back here in a couple months. We thought we'd just poke down here. It was a short walk, so.
Yeah.
It did rain a ton yesterday, so it's probably a little higher than it otherwise normally would be, but
It's still pretty different.
this whole area is now a creek. And you can see the beaver dam right over there. It's gotten a lot taller.
Mm-hmm.
That beaver dam's probably another at least foot and a half taller than it was.
I know you don't like them, but I think it's kind of cool to see what they do.
I love nature, and yes, if this was someone else's property, it'd be pretty neat, but not great. Not great. Anyway, on to the next thing.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna keep going with this whole wrapping this up Alaska, simple living Alaska style. So tonight we are having deer tacos, which is actually a lot like them because they eat a lot of like moose tacos
Right.
or something like that. But so we're having some deer tacos. We harvested this in the fall. Really simple. We love this dinner because it's super quick and easy.
Love
But
tacos.
simply just some ground venison meat here, some deer meat. That it's hot sausage. It's
Yeah.
not really that hot, but it's got some spice to it, so it's nice. And then we just add in regular old taco seasoning here. It's hot, very hot, but that's some Goya Spanish rice. And then if we go over here to Country Folks Microwave, we got a can of these. I don't know how to speak Spanish, so, but these refried pinto beans with chipotle in them, these are really good, way better than the other refried beans out there. And that's our simple dinner for tonight. The rice takes a little while, but that's just waiting for it to cook. This meal is super easy.
Tacos are my favorite.
Yeah.
Or one of my favorites.
One of my favorites too.
Good and easy.
Yep. And just like the last time, we got ourselves a couple of sweet treats from Strong Arm Bakery in town.
As always.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah. So life's an adventure.
Let's keep it that way.
Recording my butt.